Osio Halito. I'm just coming to y'all real quick because I've been watching and listening and reading about the R. Kelly situation. Now, if we could get on one accord on surviving police brutality, surviving racism, things, surviving sexual abuse, as a community, as a whole, surviving what the colonizers passed down to our ancestors, and it creeped into everyone's home. Because every family has dealt with experimentation, sexual experimentation, sexual molestation, and sexual rape. Every family has been affected by it in some way. And so, throughout all of this, how today's society is, I see it like this. Even when the colonizers came and brought their Bibles, their Qurans, even their Tanakh and Torahs, but we'll just say, when the colonizers bought the Bible, right? Now, there's all kind of stories about women, young women, virginal women being betrothed to, older man. This has been happening from the beginning of this whole little colonizer era, and their writings, their literature talks about it happening way before. So, some things that I've seen, because I've seen bits and pieces of everything, and I'm just kind of like sick. Because I have an affirmation that we all should say. You can tweak it however you want to, but I want you to look in the mirror every day, in that smoky mirror, which is the smoky black obsidian mirror. Okay? This is the mirror of truth. It's basically like looking into the mirror at yourself, at your divine God self, and at your should I say divine shadow self. Because God created good and evil. So God and the devil, Satan, whatever adversary you want to call it, is a depiction of you, me, and everyone else within each and every one of us. Within each and every one of us, there is a good side and a bad side. So we'll refer it to our light side and our shadow self, okay? But we have to use wisdom and put in the work to accomplish self-mastery, because in this life is about self-mastery. Self-mastery. Can you balance that shit? Can you balance your light self and your shadow self? Can you balance that shit? So, the affirmation I wanted to say, in that smoky black obsidian mirror, or just a mirror that you have, that you look at yourself every morning. Today, I am less of a hypocrite than I was yesterday. Today, I use the knowledge and wisdom that I've learned from my mistakes yesterday, and I go forward healed today, now. You can say simple shit like that to put it in perspective that I gotta deal with shit every day. So this is the thing. Everybody bashing R. Kelly and, other entertainers, because look, since the colonizers and before the colonizers, men have been with younger women. Now, we have some lines here. We have sexual experimentation, sexual molestation, and sexual rape, sexual abuse, okay? We have those things. Now, R. Kelly, he is the poster child of a soul that needs self-healing and support of his community, his extended family, to be healed, walk in his healing, and go forward, and to help others do the same, because everybody has been impacted, whether it was a traumatic experience, a shocking experience, a pleasurable experience. We've had all kind of emotions and feelings behind different experiences. Now, excuse me, I'm getting over something, but okay. Now, I want to address, I'm just going to grab things that just stood out to me, right? So, when they was talking about, he was going up to the high school and, kicking it with young women, young ladies, young teens. Okay. Now, I've experienced this at the high school I went to. You come outside, lunchtime, lunch hour, and after school, and before school, you will have the dudes ride through and they bomb-ass rides with the D's, the Daytons, all kind of wheels, loud music, all of that showing out, with high-end cars to fixed up old school. And, the young girls will just, oh, that's awesome. He an older dude. He mature. He ain't like these young ones. These dudes our age, they mature. I mean, growing up, I was the teacher's daughter, so I couldn't act out at school. I couldn't do none of that shit. What I did was I learned a lot of shit by observing and listening. Okay? Now, everybody would be like, oh, he fine. And whoever had the best going for themselves, whether he was playing ball professionally and he went to our school and he came back to visit him and his younger little cousins and brothers and friends, all that shit. They come up to the school, the young girls is flocking to him. And they are drawn by that pure light energy that's within a young soul or an untainted soul. They are drawn to that. That's like, when you get some food, some jewelry, anything, you want the pure, high quality shit, right? So they are drawn to that. And by the way, I'm not condoning this person or that person, whatever. This is what I'm saying, is that is a Libran energy that balanced the scales of Ma'at, that Raven Crow energy, the sacred law. What is sacred law? Balance, the balance and polarity of things. I always am, well, I will say most of the time I'm flowing in a diplomatic mindset where I weigh, and I can see it from this person's perspective and that person's perspective, and what I believe is the all, the source, divine, great spirit, ultimate great spirit's perspective of it. Everybody has that inner compass of the source of all things, great spirit within. Everybody has that. Now, it can get clouded because while we, okay, they call it the Trinitarian duality, okay? That is you, your shadow self, and great spirit. When I say you, that's your true divine self. That's your higher self, the best you ever. And then your shadow self, and then the all, the source, great spirit, okay? That is what you deal with, right? So, they was talking about, being at school and all of that. And I mean, people have had arranged marriages where an older guy would offer money and crops and animals, cattle and all kind of stuff to the young girl's father to be betrothed or married to a young girl, right? Now, in R. Kelly's case, let's focus on the key things. Did anybody say that they was raped by R. Kelly? Did anybody say that they was raped by R. Kelly? I just want to know. Did they say that, right? Okay, that's something to think about. And then you have people that are drawn to his energy because he's flowing his gift. He's flowing in that shit like nobody. Okay? He's flowing in his musical genius gift. And that sends off this aura, this vibration, this frequency, this energy. And young and mid and older women are drawn to that energy. And they are drawn to the words and the lyrics because that man experienced some shit. He experienced some shit. He has cried out. He has said shit on the Tavis Smiley interview, all kind of interviews and songs. He's talked about, instead of throwing stones at me, somebody pray for me. He's been talking about that he was, molested. And this triggered him tapping into those spiritual, pleasurable energies at an early age. And he just developed that shit on a whole nother level. So he has tapped into the light and he has tapped into his shadow self. And we all can hear some music and we can hear the raw intensity and the realness of it. That's why we just so drawn to it. That's why we get up and dance, or we singing the shit, because it's a real raw life that man experienced. That's just like him. And then you got to Mary J. Blige. When you hear her songs, you hear pain and hurt and sorrow. And we are just so drawn to that because we pick up the authenticity of it because that person lived that shit. And you can identify with it because you live some of the shit. You can relate to the shit. So with R. Kelly, he lived that sexual shit. He lived it on, messing with young girls. He lived it messing with mid-aged girls and older girls or older women. He has lived that shit because we can feel it and hear it in his music. That shit is real and it's raw and we can relate to that shit. Okay? How many babies have been made off of R. Kelly music? How many barbecues and picnics, family reunions, all these words of family gatherings and all those songs? Like, he got a song for every life stamp moment in a person of color's life. Okay? So we gravitate to the real rawness. Now, I wasn't in the room with him when he was with those people, but it looked like to me that it was consensual. Okay, so you got the parents, you got the young girls that wanted to be a star. I mean, when you go to concerts, you want to meet the artist that you can relate to, blah, blah, blah. You want to take a picture with them. And then some people want to take it to the next level and have sex with them or go beyond with that person because they are just so drawn to that person's energy. And he has perfected his craft to where he can just stand in the fucking room probably and his aura will reek of those experiences. That he's a tantric sexual master that has flowed in the light side of that and flowed in the shadow side of that. But from what I pick up, it is consensual. It is consensual because those women and those young ladies, they wanted to experience that. They wanted to experience his power with theirs, merging together. They wanted to experience that shit. And in the music industry, in the Bible, in the colonizers' world, older men have been with young women, teenagers. Some have went to the length of child type shit. Okay? So this has been going on from the, I won't even say the beginning of time, we'll just say the colonizers, from their little bracket of when they came in. Because they was experimenting and doing shit and taking that shit to the next level. I mean, I have dealt with sexual experimentation, molestation, and date rape. You know, that type of shit. But the thing is this. You deal with shit. I have looked in the mirror in myself and I've had to heal through some shit. I had to heal. I had to die to some shit and be resurrected, a new person. If you gotta do this fucking daily, this is like the cleansing, okay? Going into the sweat lodge, going into the sauna, or going into your own bathroom where you are taking a spiritual cleansing bath. Some people go and get baptized because that's their spiritual bath. They are cleansing themselves of acts that were done to them or acts that they've done to somebody else and they repented for it or whatever. All I'm saying is everybody's family has dealt with sexual experimentation, sexual molestation, sexual abuse, or sexual rape. Everybody's family has lived through that shit, whether it's talked about or it's not. And you know how they was talking about, they was mad at him because he was like, I ain't gonna throw my people, my family members under the bus, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's his business. Now, if a family was ironclad and set up how it's supposed to be within the family. If somebody's acting like that, y'all bring it to the table. Motherfuckers get it dealt with, checked, and then healing process. Like, that shit was wrong. We ain't gonna do that shit no more. That's not gonna be allowed. If you ever display this type of behavior or do this type of shit, it's it's consequences to that shit, and you deal with that shit, and everybody's going on, and each day it's a better day towards healing. Y'all can have family meetings and council sessions, cleansing sessions, whatever the family agree upon to do. Like, we gotta start incorporating some dialogue and healing circles, healing squares for our families individually and our family as a whole as people of color, because we have endured some shit, and this is the chicken coming home to roost. This R. Kelly shit, he ain't the only one. So y'all gonna be walking around here like the Bird Box, not watching nothing on TV and putting earplugs in, not listening to nobody's music.